All right, how's it going? Blessed Christian Lifestyle here. Thank you for being on. Today we're going to read Matthew chapter 24, destruction of the temple. Jesus is going to give signs of time, end of the age. All right, so Jesus is going to be talking to the disciples. This is a lot of great dialogue from Jesus. All right, chapter 24. Chapter 24. Here goes some important things on there. It's going to be the Great Tribulation. When is the tribulation? That's one of the most important things that people want to know and talk about. The coming of the Son of Man. When is Jesus coming back? The parable of the fig tree, which is actually a metaphor for Jerusalem, and he's going to say no one knows the day or the hour, which is exactly when Jesus is coming back. Nobody knows the exact moment. Nobody can predict the exact moment, right? And that's going to be Matthew chapter 24. All right, Matthew chapter 24. Let me see here. Jesus went out. All right, so here we go. How's it going? Anyone flip to do any trampoline, but not a. Anyone give me a sort of. Okay. How's it going? Thank you for being on. All right, God bless. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna read Matthew chapter 24. All right, where y'all coming from? I get to see that you're on. Carson Lindsay, Cynthia Moran, 7043. How's it going? All right. All right, anybody? Let's see here. Flipping out. All right, here we go. Let's go. Matthew chapter 24. Then Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and the disciples came up to show him the building of the temple. All right, so they're showing him, like, hey, this is the temple, all right, the holy temple. And what is Jesus' response going to be? All right, all right. So, what is Jesus' response going to be? Jesus is going to say, and Jesus said to them, do you not see all these things? Assuredly I say to you, not one stone shall be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down. So they're showing Jesus the holy temple. It's like, hey, like, aren't you amazed about it? And Jesus, like, let me tell you that this temple is actually gonna fall down. All right, he's prophesying that. He's letting them know, like, hey, this temple is actually gonna come down. So it's kind of like, what do you mean? Like, this is the holy temple. It's like the holy of holies. Like, what do you mean the temple is coming down? All right, so that's one of the things that actually gets Jesus crucified. Is he's saying that the holy temple is actually not going to exist forever, which did happen. All right, if you go to Jerusalem, they actually have just a wall of the temple. So that's the pretty much what you can see. And people go. It's called the Wailing Wall. So if you go to Jerusalem, you'll see a wall that survived, and people go to pray on that wall. So that's in Jerusalem. All right. So yeah, the holy temple, Jesus did visit it, all right, when it was whole, and he said, "Hey, this is actually gonna fall." All right, here we go. Uh, now one stone shall be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down. Now, as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us when will these things be, and when will be the sign of your coming and at the end of the age?" So a very, very good question, right? That they asked Jesus here. Very good questions, like, "Hey, when is the end of the age and when are you coming back?" All right, that's a really good question. Like, all right. And Jesus answered and said to them, take heed that no one deceives you. So first off, let nobody deceive you. For many will come in my name and saying, I am the Christ, and will be this and will deceive many. Right? A lot of people will say, hey, I am the Christ. Um, a lot of cult leaders, we've seen it. I actually did a study on a cult like not too long ago, one in Waco, Texas. I actually didn't know about it. I was listening to an interview and somebody mentioned it, and I was like, "What is that about?" I believe it was in the early '90s. There was this cult. I forgot what his name was, but it's from Waco, Texas. And this guy convinced people that he was a Christ, like he was the Christ, and it was actually, man. And there were so many red flags, but people still believed it. So that's amazing that people are actually still convinced to this day. Like, man, I believe that he was the Christ. He was, and it's like, how? All right, so that's what Jesus is talking about here. Hey, don't be deceived. People are gonna say, I am the Christ, and they're even gonna show like supposedly miracles and stuff like that. But it's like, hey, when Jesus comes back, everybody's gonna know. It's not gonna be oh, he might be, he might not be. Like everybody's gonna know, like, oh, yeah, that's Jesus for sure. All right, is that gonna be a question? All right, that is huge to remember. So remember, do not be deceived. So that's the biggest thing. For many will come in my name, saying, "I am the Christ," and will deceive many. So we see many signs of this. Cult leaders, we've seen it. We've seen cult leaders do it. Man, it's huge. Red flag of a cult is they stop mentioning Jesus. They, and they glorify themselves more than anything. So that's one thing to remember. Hey, always glorify Jesus Christ. No matter what, always glorify Jesus Christ. I actually had a dream last night that I was trying to stop a cult, which is ironic. Anyways, but yeah, so make sure that they always mention Christ and they always glorify Jesus Christ. Okay? All right. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So rumors of war, that is another sign of the end of times, the end of the age. Now, the end of the age is Jesus coming back. The church age. We are currently in the church age. All right. We are to go to church. We are to commune with one another. This is the church age. All right. And he's saying the end of that is going to be rumors of war, which is already happening. For nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in various places. We do see earthquakes, pestilence. We do famines, lack of food, lack of supply. We're gonna see that a lot. All right, so these are signs. So know that the times are gonna be more and more troubling. All right, everybody. Anybody got a question so far? How's it going? How's it going? Thank you for being on. All right, then they will deliver you up to tribulation. He says all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. All right, if you follow Christ, you will be hated. All right, that is just how it is. So the more and more that people hate Christians and Christ followers, hey, the more that we're headed towards that time period. And then many will be offended, will betray one another, and will hate one another. Then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. Here we go. And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. So, like I said, false prophets will rise up and deceive many. Like I was talking earlier, cult leaders and stuff. All right, that's gonna happen. It's actually gonna multiply. There's gonna be a lot of that going on. And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as witness to all the nations, and then to the end will come. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, so you have to know what Daniel the prophet talked about. It's going to be the abomination of desolation, which is the Antichrist, all right? The man of sin, somebody who is the opposite of Jesus, is going to be standing in the holy place, a temple, all right? So, yeah, a temple has to be built. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. That's going to be one of the worst times. Let him who is in the housetop not go down to take anything out of his house. And let him who is in the field not go back to get his clothes. But woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing babies in those days. And pray that your flight may not be in winter or in Sabbath. For then there will be great tribulation, such as not been since the beginning of the world until this time, nor ever shall be. This is going to be one of the worst times ever when the Antichrist sits in the Holy of Holies. Then, if anyone says to you, look, here is the Christ, or there, do not believe it. So, the biggest thing is Jesus telling you, hey, people will deceive you and say, I am the Christ. Do not believe it. For false Christs and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders and deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you beforehand. Jesus saying, I'm letting you know ahead of time that this will happen. Anybody have any questions so far? Therefore, if they say to you, look, he is in the desert, do not go out, or look, he is in the inner rooms, do not believe it. The biggest thing is there's going to be a huge deception that, hey, he's like, I am the Christ, I am the Christ. Look, the Christ is over there. And he's saying, do not believe it. You will know when you know. Therefore, if they say to you, look, Here we go. For the lightning comes from the east and flashes to the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. So how do you know when Jesus actually comes back? How do you know who the real Jesus is going to be? All right. How do you know? He says you're going to know just as much as you know lightning. Lightning comes from the east, flashes to the west. So will the coming of the Son of Man. Son of Man is not going to just appear. He's going to come from the sky. Like he's just going to, like the lightning, or wherever the carcass is, there the eagles will be gathered together. All right. All right. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break. I gotta attend to my child. Give me about 5 minutes. All right. All right, how's it going? All right, here we go. So, sorry about that. All right, coming to the Son of Man. Here we go. So, do not be deceived. All right, people are gonna say, "Hey, Jesus is there. He's here. He came already." They're gonna say a lot of things, but do not believe it. All right, do not be deceived. Here we go. Matthew chapter 24, verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened. All right, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven will be shaken. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven. Then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Right? That's what Jesus is saying. He's like, hey, everybody's gonna see Jesus at once, the Son of Man, and he will send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. You're gonna see Jesus coming down. You're gonna see angels with a great sound of trumpet. So that's the sign. So it's gonna be very, very obvious. Right? That's the biggest thing. It's gonna be very, very obvious. It's like you're gonna know there's no way to miss it. So do not be deceived. There we go. Trumpet, and they will gather together his elect from four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Here we go. Now learn this parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth leaves, you know that summer is near. So he's telling you, hey, know the signs. Know the signs before they happen. All right. So you also, when you see all these things, know that it is near at the door. So Jesus is telling you, hey, no man knows the hour, but I'm giving you all the signs. All right. When you see these signs, he's gonna come back. All right. So know the signs. He says it's like the fig tree. When the branch has already become tender and puts forth leaves, you know that summer is near. So like, hey, I'm not gonna tell you, I don't know the hour, but I'm gonna tell you when it's near. All right. Assuredly I say to you, this generation will by no means pass away till all these things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will by no means pass away. But of the day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So uh, only the Father knows exactly the hour. All right, not even Jesus knows. For as in the days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day of Noah entered the ark. So it's gonna be like very casual. It's kind of just gonna sneak up on you. That's what he's saying. It's gonna be like people are gonna be eating, drinking, and kind of like not really so concerned about the coming of the Christ, not concerned about Jesus coming back, and then all of a sudden it's just gonna happen. He said like the time of Noah, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will the coming of the Son of Man be. So we always got to be ready. All right. If you're a Christ follower, we always got to be ready. All right. First and foremost, that's the biggest thing. He says, then two men will be in the field, one will be taken and the other left. Two women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken and the other left. So you're pretty much going to see people just missing. But know that if the master of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken into. Pretty much, you got to be on watch at all times. Therefore, you also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. Always be ready for Christ to come back. All right, saying always be ready. And then is a faithful and wise servant whom the master made ruler over his household to give them food in due season. Blessed is that servant whom his master, when he comes, will find so doing. Jesus, like, so remember the Last Supper, Jesus said, hey, I'm coming back. All right, this is what you need to be doing while I'm gone. And he's saying, blessed is that servant, which is us, whom his master, when he comes, will find so doing. Assuredly I say to you that he will make him ruler over all his goods. You're going to inherit so much. There's a lot of inheritance to get. But if that evil servant says in his heart, my master is delaying his coming, and begins to be his fellow servant and to eat and drink with the drunkards, the master of the servant will come on the day when he is not looking for him at an hour that he is not aware of. Man, here we go. And will cut him in two and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Right, that's huge. All right, so don't get caught off guard. That's all Jesus is saying here. Do not get caught off guard. All right, don't get caught off guard. All right, here we go. Matthew chapter 25. Then the kingdom of heaven shall be likened to 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out and meet the bridegroom. Now 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. Those who were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. But while the bridegroom was delayed, they all slumbered and slept. Don't get caught sleeping. All right, that's what Jesus is saying. Don't get caught slipping. Like always be prepared. Saying always be prepared. And at midnight a cry was heard, behold, the bridegroom is coming. Go out to meet him. So they're like, oh man, it's time to panic. Leo, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Hope you're having a good week. Yeah. Thank you very much. God bless you as well, man. Thank you very much. All right. It's here reading a little bit. I know it's been a while. All right. Here we go. So pretty much Jesus saying, hey, always stay ready, stay alert. All right. Don't be like the person who wasn't aware, who wasn't alert. And then Jesus came all of a sudden, and then now you panic and be like, hey, I need oil. I need oil. Like, help me out. At midnight, cry was heard, behold, the bridegroom is coming. Go out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said to the wise, give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out. Hey, I'm not prepared. Help me out. Help me out. I'm not prepared. But the wise answered, saying, no less, there should not be enough for us and you, but go rather to those who sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with them to the wedding, and the door was shut. Stay ready. Stay ready. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and those, all right. Afterwards, the other virgins came also, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, surely I say to you, I do not know you. Always be ready. All right. Just be ready. But he watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour in which the Son of Man is coming. All right. That is Matthew chapter 25, verse 13. We do not know the hour that Jesus is coming back. So he's saying just be ready at all times. All right. That is why we got to stay sharp. At all times, we got to stay sharp. And we always got to be praying on, hey, Jesus coming back. All right, Jesus coming back. All right. We always got to be ready. Whatever generation we are in, anybody, we have to be ready. All right, here we go. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country who called his own servant and delivered his goods to them. And to one who gave 5 talents, to another 2, and another 1, to each according to his own ability. And immediately he went on a journey. Then he who had received the 5 talents went and traded them and made another 5 talents. And likewise he had received 2 gained 2 more also. But also he who had received 1 went and dug in the ground and hid the Lord's money. Man, they pretty much went to waste. Like, hey, here's some talents, and this person just let it go to waste. Literally did nothing. After a long time, the Lord of those servants came and settled accounts with them. You're like, all right, it's time to see what you did with the talents, with the blessings you were given. So he who had received 5 talents came and brought five other talents, saying, Lord, you delivered me to 5 talents. Look, I have gained 5 more talents beside them. His Lord said to him, well done, good, faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will make the ruler of many things enter into the joy of your Lord. He also, who had received 2 talents, came and said, Lord, you delivered for me 2 talents. Look, I've gathered 2 more talents beside them. All right. Here we go. Beside them. His Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You have faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter the joy of your Lord. Then who had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew you be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown, and gathering where you have not scattered seed. And I was afraid and went and hid your talent in the ground. Look, there have what is yours. But the Lord answered and said to him, You wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. So you sought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and on my coming I would have received back my own with interest. So take talent from him who giveth to him who has 10 talents, for to everyone who has more will be given, and he will have abundance. From him who does not have, even what it will be taken away. All right. And to cast the unprofitable servant to the outer darkness, there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. That is huge. All right. So pretty much do not be lazy. He's saying here, uh, wicked and lazy servant. All right. He did not reap. He did not use any of the blessings, any of the talents that God gave him. He literally did nothing. He just let it go to waste. Don't let your blessings go to waste. Use them. He's saying the guy that had five got, he blessed people and got five more people. Now with 10, got 10 more. And this one person just had one, which is very minimum, but didn't do anything with it. Right? Literally didn't do anything. Here we go. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathering before him, and he will separate them one from another, as a shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. Right? And he will set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then the king will say to those on his right hand, come you blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. And I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer. Here we go. Then the righteous will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you to drink? When did you see a stranger take you in, or naked clothe you? Or when did you see sick or in prison and came to you? And the king will answer and say to them, But surely I say to you, and as much as you did it to one of the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me. Then he will also say to those of the left hand, Depart from me, you cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you did not. So treat the poor, treat the hungry, the thirsty, stranger, treat them right. All right. The naked, people lack of clothes, the sick, and people in prison. All right. So pretty much treat everybody right. All right. Don't neglect. All right. Then they will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger naked? Then he will answer them, saying, Surely I say to you, inasmuch as you did not do it to one of the least, you did not do it to me. All right, that is huge. And these will go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. So help each other out. All right, that's what Jesus is saying here. Help each other out. All right, even if you see somebody has lack of anything, help them out. All right, help them out. All right, take a little break.